What's up? This is Jake and Kristen with Hike 734, and today we're climbing Iceberg Peak in South Iceberg Peak in Glacier National Park. So we started out at the loop and then worked our way all the way up to Granite Park Chalet, and then worked our way on the high line for a bit, and then broke off and climbed up to the summit. And then from there, we traversed the ridge, and then we went all the way down back onto the high line, and now we're heading back down. And yeah, it was a big day starting out. A little moody skies, but still really pretty. And just clouds in the sky, but nothing like it was threatening rain. As we worked our way up through the greenery, and my goodness, we found some ridiculous sized hucks. They look like commercial blueberries. They were so big, but lots of flowers. And yeah, as we just worked our way up, seeing the increasing views up the McDonald Creek drainage, and eventually we got out of the lush overgrowth and came up into the subalpine fir, and just a little bit of that. We actually didn't go all the way to the chalet on the way in. We decided to go ahead and cut by the campground to just get on the North Highline Trail. And yeah, just once we kind of climbed out of that, we ended up getting a lot of these, just cool views. We could see the chalet, but yeah, just a little tiny bit, and the lighting was really weird. But yeah, we just started working our way on the Northern Highline, and it's just so amazing. Like, it just opens up to these just big, incredible views. And yeah, just see some of these really huge meadows. And we found ourselves looking at a grizzly bear way off in the distance. He's just this little spot in the iPhone, which is what I brought today. And so, yeah, but we continued on through just incredible wildflower meadows. They were just popping everywhere. And yeah, just worked our way over. And one of the tricky parts about this climb, one of the first tricky parts, is actually on the trail. There's this big old drift. It's a hazard called Ahern Drift. And we walked up to that thing, and it's a steep angle drift, and we kind of tested it out a little bit, and we were like, let's just go underneath it. So we hopped off the trail and worked our way around to the other side. But man, looking over at the Iceberg Peak from that angle, it really doesn't look like it's something that can be done. But as we kind of planned out our trip, we used Blake Passmore's Climb Glacier National Park book, which was super helpful. And I actually climbed with him when we did Iceberg Peak a long time ago. And so doing this again was fun. And yeah, so we followed the route. I highly recommend getting his book if you're planning on doing this. And yeah, just picking our way up through. It's definitely a little bit tricky. You have to work your way up. There's a big cliff band that if you know where to go, it's easy after a lot of work. And then from there, we traversed across the cliff band. And then, yeah, we just worked our way all the way up to just a really long scree field. And we definitely were ready to be off that, and finally saw the big knob at the top, which is Iceberg Peak, and then just picked our way up to the top of that. And it's just ridiculous how good the views are up there. Man, we were just loving all of the views. We could see down to Iceberg Lake with the icebergs in it, and it's just turquoise color, and then over to Helen, and just with Ahern Glacier. It just incredible views. It's just, you're sitting on top of a 3,000 foot cliff face, and it is just awesome. And so after spending some time up there, we decided to just work our way along the ridgeline. And definitely here was it's a lot more I would say it's a little bit more technical coming down over and doing the South Iceberg Peak. And so we worked our way over there, just picking our way through the rocks, and found ourselves climbing up to the first knob, and along the way just more views of Iceberg Lake because it's incredible. And then finally got to South Iceberg Peak and just worked our way up through that, picking our way, doing some fun climbing up through there, and then finally got to the top of that with really cool views, just looking at Wilbur, which is just like a freak of nature ridgeline. And then worked our way down from there, and then we decided to kind of skirt this big old peak over here that we're looking at, climbing up and then skirting below that. There's a really tricky spot to get up on above a cliff band there. Once again, highly recommend getting a book or hiking with somebody who knows where that is. But anyways, once we got up to the top of that, just over to the saddle, just once again, super cool views looking over at Swift Current Mountain and the lookout and the cool bodies of water below that. And then just started working our way down. It's just kind of a grind getting off some of these mountains sometimes. And so we just ground it down until we finally got all the way down to the North Highline Trail. And now we're working our way down here. Now we're just working away along that. And then we're going to end up swinging into the chalet real quick and then busting down. Looks like some rain's coming from the west, but overall, yeah, just really fun seeing that grizzly again on the way back. And then yeah, just, man, lots of flowers, lots of views, and a beautiful summit. And anyways, this is Jake and Kristen with Hike 734 climbing Iceberg Peak in South Iceberg Peak in Glacier National Park.
If you like this video, make sure you subscribe on YouTube and head on over to hike734.com for more goodness.